Hello, adult artists. I wanted to take a minute and give you a preview of art class and provide you with some helpful tips to being prepared for class. In this class, we will be doing a pointillist landscape inspired by the artist George Seurat. Let me show you our supply list. Okay, so on the screen here, you can see we're going to need a placemat, drawing paper, several of our acrylic paints, Q-tips. If you don't have Q-tips, you can actually use a fresh pencil with a nice eraser, and you're going to need a pencil itself to draw with. So let me pull up my camera for a second here and just show you the things that I have. Oh, and you're going to need a paint palette of some kind that's not on there as well. So we're going to start off with our piece of paper. So we have a placemat and our drawing paper. This is a piece of the drawing paper that's out of the sketchbook. It will work fine for this project, even though we're painting. It's a little thin, but it will be okay. So we have our paper. The acrylic paints are going to be green, yellow, blue, and red. If you have not already opened them, I suggest that you open these before class starts because they're a little tricky. So if you take the lid off, I forgot this the last time we used them. There's a seal, a metal seal. So on the other side of the lid is the part that actually breaks that seal. So you take the lid off, flip the lid around, use the point inside the lid to push in here. You have to kind of push. You have to be careful not to squeeze the tube. And I rock it back and forth just a little bit. And what that does is it will open the top of the paint so that now there's a little bit of paint in here. So you have to take a paper towel and just clean that out or something so you don't have a mess everywhere. Okay. And then you can put that back on the top of your paint tube. Okay. Something like that. So I would suggest opening those up before class because that's a little tricky. And you don't want to be under stress trying to open paint tubes. And then the last thing, or the last couple of things is I have a bunch of Q-tips, but like I said, if you don't have a Q-tip, a really brand new pencil with a flat top eraser will work. If you have a used eraser, that's fine. You're just going to want to like race it down a little bit so it's more flat to give you a nice size circle. We're going to use this to make our dots. And then the other thing is to actually have a pencil. So we're going to do a really simple drawing with this project. And we're going to have the kiddos start off with a curved line on the left and a curved line on the right, creating two sets of hills or a landscape. And then we're going to start with a curve for our sunset. So there's our sun. And then from our sun, we're going to go off in several directions, creating like the rays of the sun. Then we're going to take our paint and we'll put a little bit of paint. This is my paint palette. It's just the top of a Tupperware, top of a disposable piece of plasticware that I can easily clean and reuse. It's actually the top of my water cup that I use all the time. So I'm going to put a glob of paint. I'd start out small. We can always add more paint, but once you put a big glob on there, it's just wasted if you don't use it. And then we're going to talk to the kids about taking our Q-tip. You're going to dip it in the paint. And then we're going to go into, now we're not going to start with green, but it gives you the idea of what we're doing. And so we dip it in and then you can get about 4 or 5 dots, okay, on there. And we're going to fill up our landscape using only dots. The pencil works the same way. When we switch colors though, the pencil doesn't hold as much paint. The dot's a little bit bigger. So if you need to go a little faster and fill up space a little faster, you might use a pencil. But you have to go back to the paint more often. The Q-tip actually will hold some of the paint so you get a longer amount. After about 3 or 4, they start to really disappear. Okay. The other thing is with the pencil, we're going to have to wipe it off in between colors. The Q-tip, we're just going to get another Q-tip and use it for our next color. So I hope that helps. I hope that's some helpful tips to getting you ready for art class this coming week. I lost my screen. That's okay. We'll leave it there. So there's a list for you. So thank you, adult helpers, for watching the video. Thank you for helping us get prepared for art class. If you have any concerns or need any help, please reach out through email and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I look forward to seeing all of my young artists prepared for art class here very soon. See you then.